Morning. We have lighting. Many thanks to Sammy at 4th Street Electrical for sorting out these 600 by 600 panel lights. These are fantastic. They are CCT lights, which means that they go between warm white, daylight white and cool white. You have two different wattage settings as well, so you can basically play around with at least, what's that, 6 settings for more dim, bit more bright, bit more cool, bit more warm, depending on what you want, depending on the type of work I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to be mounting these up in these recesses, so let's crack on. I'm using my cross-line laser just to make sure I get a perfect line all the way up the ceiling. So essentially, if you look at it here, I've got about 22 centimeters from that beam there, and then we're running 600, and then there's another 22 centimeters that side, and obviously that will keep a lovely straight line of lights in a grid formation, which I'll replicate throughout the whole ceiling. Hey, I've just connected the first one. Here we are. It's not really safe because I've just twisted a few wires together, but just testing it all out. So here's daylight white, that's warm white, probably a bit too yellow, and then that's cool white. So yeah, amazing that you can change the color of these. I've left the drivers out just there because inside this section you've also got a tiny little jumper switch, and if you toggle that between on and 1, it goes from 33, 36 watts, something like that, back to 25, so it makes it a bit dimmer. But yeah, really happy with those. I mean, gosh, imagine, look at the light that produces. Imagine 12 of those, 16 of those. Let's see how many I can fit on this ceiling. I'll probably put some in a circuit as well, so that I can have a number of them on and off at the same time. We don't need to necessarily have all of them on at once, depending on what we're working on. So I've got the laser line pointed up the other way now, and that is perfectly in line with that light that I've put up. So I've just marked it. I've marked where the laser line sits with masking tape, and equally I've done the same thing going in this direction so the grid stays nice and uniform. Good morning. You catch me doing a spot of electrics. These are my new panel lights and I think they look brilliant. I've only put 6 up. I've got 12 in boxes here, and I'm probably going to buy even more, so there's going to be another 6 that go there. To be honest, I could probably fit another 2 in that corner. So look, there might even be, I don't know, 16, 18, who knows. But they're fantastic. I've run them from that switch in the corner. Wiring goes up the back and up to little Wago junctions. Then you've got a driver each side that goes into each light, so it keeps it nice and neat. That runs up over the beam into another junction, another driver, and so on and so forth. So yeah, this is a big success, and a massive shout out to Sammy over at 4th Street Electricals in Edmonton, North London, who sorted these out for me. They are absolutely brilliant, and for the price point, it's an absolute no-brainer. So yeah, we can quite economically just continue and fill out the entire roof. I think what I'm going to do with the switch is probably get a 3-way switch so I can have 3 banks of lights, because there's probably no point having all of them on at once if I'm just working in a certain area. But yeah, really chuffed with these, very happy. Oh, and I've not even shown you guys, there's a small switch here that has the color temperatures. So you can go from warm white to daylight to cool with literally a flick of a switch. I quite like daylight, so I'm going to leave it on that. And then also, I've screwed the cover back on, but in there you've got that toggle switch, toggle jumper, whatever you call it, that you can set 25 watts or 36 watts, so you can make them a little bit dimmer than what they are at the moment if it's a little bit too intense. But to be honest, working on cars, if I'm doing any paint work, correction, or engine work, anything really, these are absolutely fantastic. Very happy. So quick break from the lights. We are back on the central RSJ here, and it's been a couple of days since I've applied that Deox gel, which actually is a little bit too long. I should have removed it the following morning. It's dried on. So what we're now doing is essentially using hot water, loads of rags, and essentially rubbing it all off, which is sort of reactivating it a bit. If you look on that side, you can actually see metal now. So what we're going to do is just wash all this off. Look at the colour of the water. That's basically just rust that's coming off. And then we can apply some Hydrate 80, which will act as a barrier and a primer, and then we can spray the anthracite paint on. So this is the built Hamber Hydrate 80. Quite unusual to be rollering it on, but I figured it's an easier method to get on a nice straight RSJ. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. This is the rust barrier and protection coat, the primer, and then the anthracite will go straight on this. Just wanted to show you the prep work that's been going into these beams even before I get a lick of paint on them. Literally, this mouse sander is a superstar. It has been sanding everything, every single face, every single beam, every single piece of wood that you can basically see. And that is the end of the painting, almost. We've got another big section of the garage ceiling painted. So that makes, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections if you count it by the beams that run from front to back. And then we've got just another, what's that, 1.5. So we're almost there. We're about 3/4 of the way there, roughly speaking. RSJ's done, looking amazing, absolutely amazing. Smoothed it all down, did all that built hamber, rust protection, then the final layer of anthracite. Yeah, really sets it off. It's obviously drying at the moment, so it looks a little bit patchy where it's wet. Yeah, just gonna get some lights up in these voids now and illuminate the middle of the garage.